Hey guys, I'm Austin. I live in SoMA in San Francisco. Come on into my apartment. Okay, hi friends, welcome to my entryway. So to give a little story here, I know this is a really big piece for an apartment. However, this is from my childhood home. I grew up playing piano and violin because I am an Asian child. And this hung above the piano that I played at every single day. And so I really loved it when my parents moved and sold our house. This was like the one piece I really wanted to take with me. And now I love it. It just brings me a lot of joy. I always felt like I wanted to be a member in this band, and it kind of is like my inner monologue. So we have obviously my organization. That's the stuff I use every day. Boring. Then we have my Polaroid album. I love Polaroids. I think it's so fun to have a photo that really doesn't exist anywhere else. So anyone who comes over, friends I have, if I bring it out, I have a few albums, and this is the one I'm currently filling. And then I think it's very important to have merch for your house, and that means a custom matchbook stolen from Lord Lens. I'm legally a lord. And then a photo of me judging you as a child for stealing it from me. But it's encouraged, don't worry. So I want to say this is a work in progress. This is new. If you have suggestions, I always take them. But obviously, disco ball Trader Joe's plant, that's just cute. But I used to live in New York. I just moved back to San Francisco from being in New York. So over here is like a painted present that my friend made of the 3 restaurants that we would go to frequently. So when I left, she gave me that. I love it. This book called Soup is written by my friend Alex, and I thought that was really special to have. And then this Hell's Kitchen sign. I used to live in Hell's Kitchen, so when I left, my friend Sarah got me a little Hell's Kitchen street sign. And then, okay, the record's a little performative. Like, I don't really listen to the Beatles that much. I don't listen to David Bowie all that much. I know them, obviously. But other than that, like, the Guardians of the Galaxy album, best album played at a dinner party. Fleetwood Mac Rumors, one of the best albums in general. And then we have a little cable car piggy bank here. I think I have enough to afford In-N-Out in a few years if I keep going. And then a little love jar, because why not have a little more love in life? This is a coffee table book done by my friend Nick. I'm a big tennis player, so I thought this was a beautiful thing. He had an event that I met him at in Wilson for it. Would highly recommend if you're into tennis. And then Bulgari book, because I love the jewelry, can't afford it. And then a Bora Bora photo album, because I went there for my 30th birthday with my family, and I love to have just a photo album around the house, as you guys probably have noticed by now. And then, again, lived in New York, so I do have a Levain cookie tin. If you know about Levain cookies, you know. But the only thing in here is photos from a wedding I went to upstate with some of my girlfriends. And this is a Fendi box. This was a gift, and there used to be tea in here. However, now there is just a little story by my 10-year-old niece called The Unicorn That Has to Poop, in case you're wondering about the creative mind of a 10-year-old. This is a Jonathan Adler box with 0 things in it, because I just like how it looked. I love snakes, so you'll see that around. And then I love to have a pop of pink on pretty much anything. Obviously, you can see it with my watch as well. But I thought the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie, like fashion-wise, was incredible. So I got her coffee table lookbook. And then I loved Too Fast, Too Furious, specifically Suki. She's my favorite character in the entire franchise. So I had to have her Lego. And then there's some pink Hot Wheels. You'll see a lot of cars around the apartment. I'm obsessed. And then this is my grandmother's music box. And inside, actually, you can get like a few different discs and play different music sounds, which I think is really cool. And it's a cute place to have it. And then this is not a book. This is actually just a little nightlight. So it's a really fun little thing. I've had it for like 10 years. I couldn't tell you where to get it, but there you go. Okay, so this is something really special. Again, most of my decor is sentimental, and that's what you'll kind of see throughout the apartment. But this is my mother's, and she loves McDonald's because when she immigrated to America, they did really not have a lot of money. So McDonald's was always a treat for them. And so she kind of grew up always loving it. It's a very big comfort food. It is for me now too. And so these are vintage McDonald's plates. I could not tell you where she got them or like what year. These have literally been around my whole life. I used to stare at them as a kid and just like love the scenes. And so these are some old McDonald's plates we had framed, and I think it's like such a fun piece of little decor to have because it's sentimental, but also like, who has this? I am gonna expose a dirty little secret. I love to play video games, and in here is my Switch and my PlayStation. I mostly play the PlayStation, and like you can tell, I was shoving it in to hide from you guys because I can't, but I'll expose myself. But I am the kind that also like plays with a headset and talks to his friends, and I can play for an egregious amount of time if you let me. So I'm so sorry. I'm aware it's a red flag. Welcome to like my kind of random knickknack corner. Let's go through it. So this is a Jonathan Adler, like aggressive tattooed head, but the whole point of it is to hold Tootsie Pops. Specifically, red Tootsie Pops are my favorite candy. I just don't have them yet. So if anyone wants to get me them, my favorite pet we ever had was a black lab named Buddy. I will miss him dearly. And he always had a red collar. So I have to have like the little salt and pepper shakers for that. Down here, we have a little set that was stolen from the Waldorf Astoria in Cabo. It wasn't stolen, I paid for it. But I was like enamored with how cute this was. I love the little bottle of Clase Azul. I don't even think there's tequila in there. But I just love the whole set. And then in here, I have my Switzerland spoons. You might have seen on TikTok, if you go to Boucherer in Switzerland, you can get a free spoon. A lot of them say they don't do it anymore. Just know they're lying. And then I went to Korea this year, and this was my cousin and I getting a caricature done of us. And yes, the only other people doing this were couples, so that was really fun to do with somebody you're related to. And then over here we have a Pooh Bear. This is a cookie jar. I think it's as old as me. I'm 32 for reference, but my mom always called my dad her Pooh Bear. And so then she always just kind of had this around, and I love this one, but I'm too afraid to touch it. Nothing goes in this anymore. It stays right here on the shelf. And then down here, we have a plate that's from Greece because my parents honeymooned there when they got married. And then these bottles of sake here are from my favorite sake brand. A friend works for them. She introduced me to them. I actually went to Toyama in Japan and visited their distillery. But I was lucky enough to get 2 bottles signed by the CEO and creator of it, which I think was really cool. But now I also can never open these bottles. And then this last one down here is probably one of my favorites. This was made by my roommate in New York as my going away present. It's a little note, like napkin, that just says we'll always have New York. She was really incredible at ceramics, and I got to benefit frequently from that. So no one's surprised, here's another family heirloom. This was actually my grandfather's. He lived in Bali with my grandmother for a few years. And so he has a lot of Indonesian inspired woodwork because they're really known for their carving out there. And so when my grandmother passed away last year, I really wanted to keep a chest because I was just so in love with these. I've always thought they were so beautiful. And then my grandfather actually was an Olympian. He swam for the US in the 1960 Olympics. So we have just a few little pieces of memorabilia here in him. It was something we're obviously still all very proud of. I think it's one of the coolest family facts I have, but I love it. I don't know where to put it. So if someone has an idea, I'm trying to figure it out, but I must have this piece in my house. So this is the wall in my guest bedroom, and it's actually probably the most sentimental wall to me. So up here, we're obviously gonna start with the helmet. This was my great grandfather's helmet. He served in, I believe, World War I. And so he had this beautifully decorated helmet, I think when he retired from it. And I love it. And we have the same initials, so it worked out. And then you're gonna see a lot of cars here. So all these ones with the eyes, they're Chevron cars. You might recognize them if you recognize the commercials from like a million years ago. But at my grandfather's house, he had them in a chest, and it was the first place I'd run. I'm always obsessed with cars. You'll see that everywhere. And then these are like little knickknacks I've gotten throughout the world. Like this is from Vienna. The cinnamon roll / Ninja Turtle collab is from a McDonald's in Switzerland. Peach here is from a crane game in Japan. And then down here we have some Chinese jade lions, which I've always had in my bedroom from childhood till now. And then if we keep moving down, you'll see more cars, more trains. There's even like See's Candies cars. Here's a photo of my friends and I at a Mariah Carey concert. We have a 1960 Rome Olympics car. And then my parents, to this day, though, still get me a Hot Wheel or a Lego of a car every single Christmas. That is like 100% always a guarantee from them, and I still love it. So there's a lot of places where I'm now trying to find to put a Hot Wheel, but I love it and I still want it forever. So, okay, well, this was fun and all, but you gotta go and I got a game.